we're gonna start. Whoever comes in, and let's talk basically about the punch. If you have any questions about it, and I want to do this. I want to do this class a little bit. Also, if you want to show me your motion, I can look at your motion as well, and that'll be fine because you know where I could visually see if it's right or wrong and stuff like that. Okay. So when it comes to the punch, right? Actually, day one, whether you begin it or teach it, actually the best way.
Yeah,
Do you think all that fast, fancy internet he has? Oh, there he is.
yeah.
Back, Sifu.
Yeah. Oh, did I zoom out?
Yeah,
You froze. You froze up.
Freezing up, and then it cut you out. I think your son's over there streaming video games.
No, we're actually we have two lines. I get the shitty line. He gets the good line. Ah, shit, we're freezing up again. Hold on.
Hey, you're freezing up again.
Why am I freezing up? Hold on. Let me check something out.
Now you're back in, but
Okay, let me adjust my seating. Maybe. Better here. Okay. You guys hear me?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Forgot what I was saying.
You
Okay.
talked about the punch.
Okay, we were talking about the punch, okay? So in the beginning, let's just talk it from a beginning perspective, okay? In the beginning, when you start training, best way to start training to do the punch, open hand. Really, it's open hand. So, for example, if I'm practicing it, right? I have one hand, always have a target first in front of you. So pick out your target, have one hand fully extended and one hand fully back. Looks like this, okay? And then that's the best way to practice open hand. Why do I recommend doing it open hand and in the beginning? Because every guy, girls are okay for the most part, but every guy always tries to squeeze too hard, always tries to punch too hard. That's why. So that's why open hand is the best way to start off with. You start off with open hand, and when I first started teaching, actually, I had people just punch with one side, right? But that was my misunderstanding of the actual entire concept of the punch, because the punch entails basically two hand motions, right? So it was good to concentrate on one side, but it was incomplete. So you're gonna always start with two hands because that's the process overall. It doesn't matter if it's ugly, it doesn't matter if it's wrong, you gotta start off with two hands. So sometimes if you break down things too much, you lose the main concept behind what you're trying to do. And the main concept, regardless of what it is always from the very get-go, start with the development of two hands at the same time. Okay, right? I mean, you could say you've been in art for so many years, right? But still, a lot of times what happens? Whether you block or attack, emphasis is always on whatever blocks or whatever attacks and so forth. And that's always what happens to the point. Okay, so hey, who's connecting? Oh, it's Jess. Give her a second, let her connect. Hey, Jess, what's up? All right, so for those of you who never punched before, like I was saying earlier, since Jess is just joining us now, best way to start off with is basically open hands, right? And the reason I said open hands is because typically for a guy, they always want to squeeze, punch harder from it. So when you actually practice this, you actually want to have two hands, open hands, to resist the temptation of actually punching hard, okay? In addition to that, remember this simple quote: motion, not muscle, leads to power, okay? Motion, not muscle, leads to power. So a lot of times people think, okay, oh, that guy's really big, he has to hit harder, punch harder, and so forth. And that's not the case. The more perfectly defined and smoother the motion is, the better and the more power you can actually generate, okay? So how exactly do we do the punch? When we do the punch, our hands, when I have my hands, don't squeeze. See how I'm squeezing it like this? That's too much. Everything's just natural. If I squeeze, this is how I squeeze my hand to do the punch, right? Just like this, the open hand technique. So when I do the open hand technique, okay, I want you to watch. All right, Here's your center, right? Middle of the chest. It's roughly about chest level. I have my hand here. You can see it from here. Notice if you turn your hand flat, like you're holding something like a Coke bottle here or something, or a drink, you'll feel it tight at this area right here. If you go like this, it's too loose. So right now I'm finding the balance in between as far as how to hold the punch, okay? And that's what you're always looking for. Every motion that you do in Wing Chun Punch has a drilling motion involved. But that drilling motion is a natural motion that when you do it. So in other words, a lot of times, a lot of people punch, they try to punch it really hard. And when you punch also, they try to force that drilling motion in general. In Wing Chun, think of it this way. In Wing Chun, when I want to block something, right? I don't go boom. I don't do a big motion and block up like this. If I want to block something, I put my guard up, it touches me, and what do I do? Rotate and it turns. Look how small the motion is, right? Always remember that Wing Chun in itself is a lazy man's art. So there's not huge motion involved when I'm actually doing it. So if you start off, the starting motion of the punch should be relaxed. If the tension is correct, you'll naturally rotate and drill the motion. If the tension is incorrect, you have to force the turn yourself.
What are you doing? Ed is giving a webinar.
Okay.
Ed is giving a martial arts webinar.
Oh, okay. So from here, all right, we have two hands. One hand fully extended, one hand in the back. See at the different levels? Let me get my stick again. Look at my stick. From here, it's starting from this position, and here, hey, what's going on? And here, we have the next position, okay? That's this is the top hand, this is the bottom hand position when you do the punch. So when you do it, I'm holding this hand here, and this hand over here as well. See how my arm's fully straight and extended? And this one's the lower part for me to do the punch, okay? This is the front view. See the position? Now, I've always described it as far as how much the rotation is involved. It's basically my left hand, okay? Let's start with my right hand. Look at my right hand. My right hand, basically, if we're looking at the clock, it's 12 o'clock. This is 2. So you could say starting at about 2 o'clock. And then when I rotate my hand, it doesn't go to 12, it goes to 1 o'clock. And then the same thing goes for this hand. It goes from 10 o'clock, and this is from my perspective looking at the clock, and it goes from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock when I do it. So just watch first when I do this punch, okay? This is a forward view. So imagine my thumbs, 10 to 11, 10 to 11, a small rotation, and then from 2 to 1, small rotation as well. It never goes fully to 12, and I'll give details for why we don't do it that way. So from there, watch. Straight, boom. See how I go? See my hand? See how my thumb? I'll do my thumb. See how my thumb is rotating? It's not rotating all the way like this. From this position here, it rotates naturally, so it goes from 2 to 1. Okay? So look at my punch now. I act with open hand. See? This is my fully extended every single time, right? Just by extending my arm every single time, and just by having the right and correct tension, when I do my punch, it automatically turns. Now, if I were to have my hand too tight, like so you can't see it right now, but I'm actually squeezing my hand really tight, I would actually have to force the turn to happen every single time, okay? And that's unnatural. You force it, you use more muscle than necessary, and you create tension with it. But from here, starting from this position here, I extend, and I extend, and I extend, okay? Nice and simple. Notice I'm not worried about putting power, and I'm just simply doing the motion. Nice and smooth, okay? If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, right? You see that? I'll give you a side view. Side view. See that? Okay? Nice and smooth. That's the punch. Remember, some things to deal with when you're doing it. Everything in Wing Chun is about development. What are you developing the skill that you're doing from doing Wing Chun? When I do the punch, I'm fully extended, right? Notice I'm actually stretching that when I do it. Actual application of the punch, I will never fully extend my arm to do that, right? Okay, everyone knows what the purpose is of why we fully stretch out the punch, but we don't apply it that way. Anyone know?
It's a tendon stretch.
Yeah, basically you're learning how to stretch.
So I had a question, Sifu, on that tendon stretch. Are you stretching lengthwise or are you stretching this way?
No, like you're pulling it this way.
Uh-huh.
Always this way. You're always pulling it this way.
I know you don't want to pop the elbow, but
Yeah.
when the arm straightens, it does make a little tension.
No, pop the elbow, your motion ends up going like this. Look,
Yeah.
Look at my motion. 1, 2. See that? You see how I'm popping my elbow? That's how you pop your elbow. If you punch like this, where's my motion?
Down.
That's down. Look at my motion. Is that down?
No, it's straight.
Straight. That's the motion. That's the difference. The
What
motion.
I was noticing, because doing these
What's that?
punches, the punch challenge this week, what I was noticing is that doing it, even if I'm punching straight, I notice that there, the elbow goes from a V to a straight motion.
Yeah.
Even though the hand's going forward.
Yeah.
So I am noticing, that locked elbow versus bent.
I can see the difference though. Do your punch motion again, how you did your punch. Okay, stop right there. Do that same motion. Don't concentrate on the fist. The fist is only pointed to the target. Think with the elbow. Push the elbow all the way and extend.
Yeah.
Different right there.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Elbow leads the motion, right? Elbow leads the motion when you do the punch. If you're punching and you're grabbing, see how I'm grabbing? My hand is leading the motion. You do hand leading the motion, you won't generate any power, right? The elbow, like this is my base and I'm doing the elbow. It's like a push-up. Think of it like a push-up, right? I'm not going like this. I'm using my elbow to push off, right? This is stay square and my elbow pushes off to do that. Okay, so that's the motion. Look at this, right? Looks okay, but that's not right. My elbow has to lead that motion in order for it to generate the right motion, the right power, and the right positioning. Yeah, yeah. You feel a difference, right? If you guys want me to look at it, like I can see right away if you're doing the punch right or wrong. You want me to look at your punch? I'll look at it. Like right away, I saw Chris. Right away, I see the problem. There, you could. I've done it so many times. I see right away what's wrong. Okay. If no questions, we go back to it. So right now, when you're doing that, right? Notice 2 hands, same time, stretch, 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 stretch. Notice to pay attention to my base, right? Imagine my back is against the wall. Look if I go like this. You see that? You see I can't maintain my squareness, my shoulder, right? I'm exaggerating it, right? But look, square. See that motion? Why is that so important? The purpose of the punch is to develop the stretch, right? To loosen the ligaments and tendons in the arm, wrist, shoulder, right? If I take a rubber band and I take it from one end, I hold the tension, right? The other hand, I extend it fully. See, I can stretch the rubber band. If I lose the base of the rubber band and I try to stretch like this, see, I'm pinching this part of the rubber band, stretch, stretch, stretch. But if I lose the base of it and I don't pinch it, you're not developing anything. You're throwing your whole body into it. All right? That makes sense? So that's why it's so, I get it. I think too much movies, too much mixture. The Wing Chun punch is not designed the same way as a karate punch or boxing punch. Okay, people have to understand why we're doing the punch the way we are. When you punch, you jab, cross, a hook, and so forth like that. There's nothing wrong. You can totally do the punch like that. But what the way the Wing Chun punch is designed is for one reason, right? The structural alignment of the Wing Chun punch uses less muscle and can generate more power. That's why we have it in this position, right? I'm not saying you can't punch like this, but you have to use more muscle in order to generate that, as opposed to from here. This structurally aligned is the best way that we're holding the position. All right, that makes sense? Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that 15-minute preview of the Zoom class that we had on punching last week. We plan to do more in the future since everyone's basically on lockdown. For the full, I think, hour and 30 minutes of the full video, join the Kirin Rise Premium University site. All the link and information is below. By the way, thanks for all the recent subscribers and so forth. Comments, questions, anything you want regarding Wing Chun, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you, so list them below. And by the way, don't forget, find your Gung Fu.